Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. Just checking in to see how your work week is going. I am here in Boston. I'm going to get ready to do the fucking Cam Neely, Dennis Leary benefit on Saturday at the Boston Garden, the TD North Bank Garden, whatever the fuck they call it. How about your Boston Bruins? They're just on a tear, even though they lost a close one to the hated Habs. That's good for the Frenchies up there, right? They get to cry into their little fucking pocket-squared hankies. I love the way we're playing, man. We're playing incredible. And I have barely had any time to watch, but I check out the highlights, and I can't hear myself for some reason. I don't know why. Do I need to push this button here? Is that what it is? Oh, there it is. Oh, I need a new speaker wire. So, anyway, I haven't, I moved away from here so goddamn long ago that, I am having difficulty a few times understanding the Boston accent, which is really upsetting to me because this is where I'm from. I did a couple of shows at Laugh Boston, out on the pier. It used to be where Anthony's Pier 4 was, way out there, Drive out to this great Italian restaurant. It was like one of the greatest Italian restaurants in the country. And but you kind of took your life in your hands going out there because it was kind of shady out there on the wharf. But now it's all built up out there, like everything's all built up now. So I went down there, this was Thursday. I went down there Tuesday night, do a quick 15-minute set, and the club owner says to me, he goes, "Hey, Bill, Juba over here?" And I was like, "What? Juba over here?" I had to process it. Oh, he's saying, "Did you Uber over here?" Juba over here? Yes, I Ubered over here. Juba over here. Hey, Bill. Hey, Burr, you fucking Uber over here? Did you fucking Uber over here? Yes, I did. I did Uber over here. So, that kind of surprised me. It's the first time in a long time, I think ever, that I haven't been able to understand. I think it's because Uber has happened since I left, so I haven't heard Uber. I always knew Jeet, no, Jew. That was did you eat, no, did you. I remember my vocab improvement teacher in high school. That's how he started. Jeet, no, Jew. Saying how we need to learn to pronounce our words more. So I knew that Jew was did you. Most places it's the beginning of something anti-Semitic, but here that is did you, Jew. Uber, over here, Juba over here. I learned a new one. So anyway, the first night I went up, and the crowd was like a bunch of teachers, I think, because the headliner was a teacher, right? And I got to tell you, I did 15 minutes, and when I tell you that I ate my balls for 15 minutes, I'm not joking. It was straight up just, I had, making fun of myself and all of that shit throughout it, but Jesus fucking Christ. The way comedy has changed, I don't know. I feel like I'm up there playing disco music in the 90s. Well, in the 90s it was actually kind of cool and retro. In the 80s, I don't even know. People just fucking staring at me. I kind of went up there trashing white women in the beginning, so that didn't get them on my side. Then I did the lesbian story. They kind of liked that. And then I did the abortion thing, and then Jesus Christ. Just fucking ate my balls. But I was having a good time. There's just pockets of people laughing at me now, I feel. And I just feed off of them. And when I watch them laughing, they're trying to suppress it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you think it's funny. Could you help me out here and let it out? So, but this is a very caring time. Everybody cares, It's such bullshit. Did you see that fucking lady on ABC when she had the hot mic, as they kept saying, and she was talking about that fucking Epstein guy? Going, we had this story 3 years ago. We had all evidence. We had photos. We had film. We had this lady. We said we were going to protect her and all of that shit. And ABC douched that fucking story because they didn't want to fuck up their interview with Prince Harry and his actress fucking wife. So they walk away from a story about underage children being underage children. That's redundant. Underage kids being fucking sexually assaulted, raped, and everything on this fucking island by all these fucking rich guys. And then she fucking backs the whole. The whole time she was bitching. She goes, "Oh, it drives me crazy." I thought that she was bitching more that she didn't get the story. She didn't get the scoop, as they say in that business. Not that there were actually kids having this horrible stuff done to them. And then she fucking backs off the whole thing, going, "That was a private moment of frustration." Oh, you mean the part where you said you had evidence about all of these fucking super rich people banging kids? That was a private moment of frustration, and then it all goes away. All these years, you guys talking to me about how I got a tinfoil hat on and I talk conspiracy and all of this shit. You fucking explain this one to me. Where a news anchor says what the fuck she says, and that is it. No investigation, no nothing. Do you think if she said that about you or me or anybody else, if she fucking said that shit in her private moment of frustration, the feds would be descending on that fucking news agency. They'd get all the evidence. They'd find out who that witness was, and then they'd go to your house and you'd be cuffed. As opposed to her just going, "Well, that was just a private moment of frustration." Can you fucking believe? I mean, talk about a fucking sellout. It's all about money. At the end of the day, it's all about money. Those guys who are doing that fucking horrific shit, and they were doing it, are making so much fucking money that everybody looks the other way. And that woman there, the news lady, she doesn't want to lose her fucking job. So now she's just going to be like, "Oh, yeah, that was just, I was a little frustrated that day. So I was talking crazy." Unfucking believable. And that fucking thing, and this is what kills me too, is it trended on Twitter for maybe a day and now it's gone. I don't fucking get it. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to get on a sketch show, that shit lasts for a fucking week and somebody's pissed at you. Or you're a stand-up comic or a fucking actor. It's time to vet those people. But super rich people on fucking Kid Rape Island, that's fine. Yeah, that'll trend for a day, and then that'll be it. The hypocrisy. Shouldn't somebody be investigating that? You had what story? What evidence do you have? Who is this witness? Possibly we should follow up. Who were the people at ABC that squashed this story? I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I don't fucking understand it. I don't understand. You movie. So, anyways, I'm psyched. So last night I went back to Laugh Boston. I did a full show. Did an hour of my bullshit in front of my crowd. And then all of a sudden I was funny again. I had a great time last night. I wish I recorded some of that shit because I said a lot of shit that I don't remember what I said, but I remember it was really funny. So I've been having a good time. The whole fucking Boston comedy scene, I don't even know where it is. It still exists. I just don't know where it is. So that's been the thing all this week, trying to find it. And I felt really fortunate that when I started out, there was there was Nick's Comedy Stop, and there was the Comedy Connection in Faneuil Hall, and then Dick Doherty had all of these satellite rooms and all of that shit. And so thank God Laugh Boston is doing the work of the old Connection and Nick's Comedy Stop. It's crazy. It's really weird. This was always an amazing, amazing place for stand-up. And the people here, just going around town talking to people, they're as funny as ever. And I don't know. So go out to Laugh Boston. Support the Boston stand-up scene. Fucking great club, man. It's a great club. In what used to be a bad location is now a nice location. The whole thing. I used to go to Emerson College way back in the day. And Emerson has moved up the street into where the combat zone used to be, where all the hookers and the drug dealers and all of that shit. And it's weird. I don't even recognize it anymore. But it's a good thing. I don't know where all those prostitutes went. I'm surprised the news didn't interview them when they talked about gentrification. Wait, tonight, where will the whores go? I've been sucking dick on this block for 17 years, and I feel like I got at least another 7 in me. John's just all disappeared. People walking around carrying books. So, anyway, yeah, that's been my deal. And I've just been trying not to fucking eat poorly. But let's talk a little bit of sports here. Your fucking Boston Bruins had a wild one against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I got to watch a little bit of the first and then some of the second period, and I missed the third period where we scored 4 goals. It's incredible, the amount of goal scoring and just how we haven't had this hangover or anything like that. I'm just hoping we got a couple of tough guys on there because, we owe the St. Louis Blues a lot. We owe them, we need to run their goalie for 7 fucking games and sucker punch people and then wink to the guys on the bench. Oh, I will never fucking get over that shit. I will never get over that. That style of play that I love, that they just fucking, they douched out of the whole league, and then all of a sudden it's but this year we'll let the Blues play it in the playoffs, and they let one of the shittiest fucking teams in a long time win a Stanley Cup. Be one thing if everybody had a tough guy and it was a fucking level playing field. Those fucking assholes penalized us out of our own goddamn game for fucking 10 years, and then we show up with a knife to a gunfight. Yeah, I'll never fucking get over that shit. But congratulations to all the long-suffering St. Louis Blues fans. I'd never take that away from you, but Jesus Christ, they had one line and a fucking half-ass goalie. Unbelievable. Anyway, plowing ahead here. I'm going to be doing some more stand-up probably tomorrow night up on Route 1 at Giggles with my old pal Wayne Previty. And I don't know. I'm having a fucking great time back here. I still have not gotten over to the fucking TD Bank North Garden for all my nieces and nephews to buy all the fucking, Bruins Celtics shit. And then I got to go out to Foxborough and get the Patriots shit. It's just trying to get everybody to give you their fucking sizes has kind of been taken forever. So, I got to admit, though, after sitting there bitching that there was no fucking fish left, they were saying 90% of all species of fish were gone, and then I was done eating fish, unless it was man-made salmon. I'm not going to lie to you. I did go to a Chinese restaurant, and I got some crab rangoon. I didn't order it. My wife ordered it, and I had a couple pieces of that, and I was just like, now 91% of crab is gone. Can I ask you a question? How the fuck is sushi still legal? You know what I mean? Everybody flips out. You can't club a baby seal, but all the fucking fish are gone. And you can still go down and just fucking, till your heart's, all you can eat sushi still fucking exists. There's not all you can eat Siberian tiger, right? You can't eat polar bears, can you? Maybe if you're an indigenous person, because it's part of your culture, they allow you to do it. Shark fin soup, all of that shit. Everybody's saying stop doing that. You can't get koala bear sliders, but you can fucking get as much sushi as you fucking want. Because everybody's trying to get abs. I think a lot of that fish fucking died because they committed suicide after they swam by that fucking Kid Rape Island that they're not going to do a fucking thing about. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. The shit you can get away with when you got a little bit of loot. Well, if we expose this ring of pedophiles, we won't get to do an interview with the prince and princess. You know? There you go, ladies. Huh? You still like to watch your dumb TV? There you go. That's what that gets you. They don't go after pedophiles because you guys are keeping up with the Kardashians. Yes, I just made that leap. Oh, look at this. Somebody just texted me. Just read that Trump will be at the LSU Alabama game. Bama released a letter stating, hold on, let's see what's going on here. Dude, Donald Trump, he's like a wrestler, how polarizing this fucking guy is. Anyone engaging in disruptive behavior will be removed for the remainder of the season. Yeah, this guy's a fucking lunatic, man. Did you see that? I guess a couple years ago, some chick on a bicycle gave the finger to his motorcade, and then she ended up getting fired. How fucking funny is that? It's like fired for what? You were on your own time. I'm assuming you were on your own bicycle. Isn't that part of this country? That's what's great. Back in the day, you couldn't give a finger to fucking Hitler. You couldn't give the finger to fucking Stalin. They'd pull over and they'd saw it off and shove it up your ass. That would be it. I thought that's what made this country great, is you could fucking give the head guy, yeah, go fuck yourself. And then they're like, freedom of speech. I like that you're exercising it. Your mother's a whore, Mr. President. I'll look into that. See you in 4 years. Ha, ha, ha. Right? The fucking politician thing. Now with this regime, she ended up getting fired. How the fuck did that go down? So then she gets fired, and now she's running for office. And of course she gets fucking elected because this guy's so polarizing. Not because she's necessarily going to do a good fucking job. I think it's because she's a lady, and she was wronged. She was wronged. Unlike those, those kids on that fucking kid rape island. Evidently, that's fine. Evidently, nothing to see there. That was just a moment, a private moment of frustration. Actually, you know what? I believe her, because when I watched that first thing, I believe that she was frustrated that she didn't get the exclusive. Like, she's like, it's so frustrating. Like, the emotion wasn't there. She should have been like, and kids were getting raped, and we had evidence, and they didn't do anything. I mean, what am I working for here? Who are these people? It wasn't that. She was just like, oh, I had it, and they just wouldn't fucking show it because they wanted to interview Prince Harry and the fucking... Jesus Christ. I'll tell you, why can't everybody just be perfect like me? Okay. Let's do some reads here. Simply Safe. People, according to the FBI, the average loss in a burglary is over $2,000. What are they doing that math for when they could have gone to that fucking island and stopped what was going on? But even so, only 1 in 5 homes have home security! ! Most companies really don't make it easy, but Simply Safe is different. Simply Safe protects your whole home. Unlike those other places, they'll protect part of it. All right, what room do you jerk off in? Okay, we'll get some security. Every window, room, and door with 24/7 monitoring for just a fraction of the cost. Their police dispatch is up to 3.5 times faster than the other companies because Simply Safe uses video verification. Where does that take place? Does it take place outside your house and they videotape the fucking person coming in the window, or are they videotaping you while you're having Thanksgiving dinner waiting for some crook to come in? That's what I would look up. There's no contract, hidden fees, or fine print. This system is designed to blend right into your home. No wires, no drilling. It's easy to order and easy to set up, usually in under an hour. Well, that's nice. Simply Safe has won a ton of awards, from CNET to New York Times, Wirecutter, Prices are always fair and honest. Around-the-clock monitoring is just $15 a month. Visit simplysafeburr.com. You'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. Be sure to go to simplysafeburr.com so they know our show sent you. That's SimpliSafe, SIMPLISAFE, burr.com. All right. Oh, butcher box, everybody. Stop eating fish. They're all gone, but we keep growing cows and chickens, okay? We keep growing the pigs. Butcher box, when it comes to meat, quality matters. There's more to it than just texture and taste. Every month, ButcherBox ships a curated selection of high-quality meat right to my home. All meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones. Each box has 9 to 11 pounds of meat, enough for 24 individual-sized meals. Unless you're on that fucking island and you're tired from exerting yourself holding those kids down, then, you probably need 25 pounds. Oh, Bill. Packed fresh and shipped frozen and vacuum sealed so it stays that way. I can customize my box or go with one of theirs. Either way, get exactly what you want. In the future when they have those sex robots, that sentence, I can customize my box, is going to mean something completely different. My favorite is the Heritage Breed pork. I told you, it's the best pork chop I've ever had. Butcher Box is a no-brainer. It's the best meat shipped right to my doer, which means one less trip to the grocers. Well, I also have to go back to get a side dish, don't I? I mean, I don't know about you guys. When I go grocery shopping, I get it all at once. But what it does mean is I don't have to stand behind that fucking stuttering jackass at the fucking meat counter. It does mean that. I can just go in, I can get my fucking sauces, I can get my greens, I can get in, I can get out. With Butcher Box, you get the highest quality meat for around just about $6 a meal. Options like 100% grass-fed finished beef, free-range organic chicken fly, heritage breed pork, wild-caught Alaskan salmon. You don't know what they're going to do. And sugar nitrate-free bacon. It's the way meat should be. Right now, you can get 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 packs of bacon. Absolutely free, plus $20 on your first box. Just go to butcherbox.com/Burr. Use the promo code Burr at checkout. That's butcherbox.com, or use promo code Burr at checkout. All righty then. Okay. Let's see what the Donald is up to. I'm rooting for that guy, man. I hope he has a good heart. I hope he's doing something. You know what I mean? I'd love to hear what he thinks about that fucking pedophile island over there. Well, there's two sides to every story. You can see both sides of neo-Nazis. I mean, Well, everybody has, their version of the fender bender. He was not Sieg Heiling. He was cracking his elbow. Oh, Donald. Google News. Here we go. Who do you got? I'm so excited for this fucking LSU-Alabama game. This is the best shot LSU has had probably since fucking Nick Saban has been there. I hate to say it. Since he was coaching LSU last time they played Alabama. I would say, let's actually look it up, man. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look-see. That's what a teacher says in a class you fucking hate. Open your books and let's take a look-see to Chapter 8, and let's just get more into this subject that you have no interest in whatsoever. All right. Last time LSU beat Alabama. It comes right up. Well, it wasn't fucking last year. 29-0 they lost. When is the last time LSU beat Alabama in football? Why can't they just answer the question? The LSU versus Alabama football game Saturday renewed one of the most... shut the fuck up. Okay. All right, where are we? Okay, the last time LSU beat Alabama in football was the 2011 regular season. That year, the Tigers topped the Crimson Tide in the regular season on November 5th by a score of 9-6. Both teams qualified for the BCS National Championship game, and Alabama won the rematch 21-0, so they won the one that counted. LSU finished the season 13-1 under Coach Les Miles. That grass-eating crazy sumbitch. Alabama ended as the champion with the 12-1 mark under Coach Nick Saban. All right. Well, so we have not beat them in 8 straight fucking regular season games, and I think it's time for a change. I don't know. They got the fucking quarterback. They got the defense. They got everything going. But Alabama is just they're so fast. They don't look like a college goddamn team, but how great would that be, though, for them to go into Alabama with all those arrogant people from Alabama just sitting there looking down on Mississippi, ignoring the jeers from Georgia. That's how it works, east to west. Georgia looks down on Alabama. Alabama looks down on Mississippi, and everybody fucks whores in New Orleans. That is the South, okay? Any Europeans listening to this, if you're on your way over here and you want to know, if you want to go to the smartest state along the redneck Riviera, you go to Georgia. This is according to Southern people, okay? And then Alabama, that's if you got some feelings for someone who might be a little too closely related to you. You're going a little Great Balls of Fire there, right? And then if you're just like, I don't know, inbred, you're in Mississippi. Now, these are not my beliefs, people. These are just things that were told to me by Southerners about their own people, okay? And this is why we won the Civil War, because there's so much infighting amongst the states, right? The reality is a true Southerner knows he's not as smart as a Yankee. He just knows that, They might have been back in the day, but after they lost the war, all the good books went up north, okay? And then they got the bad books. So it's not that they're dumb. It's that they lost the Civil War, and they know that was the big turning point for them, which is why to this day they still say things like the South is going to rise again and blah, 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 because they want like a rematch. And the North has been like Floyd Mayweather in the last fucking half of his career where he wouldn't fight anybody, So we don't want that rematch. We already kicked your ass. We're moving on. We're done. We unplugged the fucking PlayStation and we went home. And they're still sitting there in their fucking parents' finished basement waiting for a rematch that is never going to happen. It's just not happening, So I guess, if you're an American and you want to be smart, you got to get above the Mason-Dixon line, okay? And all you need to do is listen to this podcast to hear the far superior public education that I got while I was up north. You can hear it in the way, in my ideas. You can hear it in the way I read out loud, the way that I think I can sing, right? All right, let's start some shit here. What do you think is the dumbest state in the U.S.? I want your submissions. Okay, and you can't just name a fucking state because their team always kicks your ass. All right, I want reasons. Okay, I need 3 good reasons that whatever state you're nominating is the dumbest fucking state in the union. All right, I'll go first. Let me see. Let me just see here. Dumbest fucking state. Well, I want to say California because I live there. So right there, that's a strike against them. I would say the craziest fucking, what is going on, what is in the water part of the country that I've ever been in was Western Pennsylvania. I'm not talking Pittsburgh. You get outside of Pittsburgh and you go north, and you could shoot fucking Deliverance up there. I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's just a couple of places where I got out of my car. I mean, I went into a Wendy's and there was a black chick behind the fucking register wearing rouge, and I was just like, what the fuck, That was the first tip-off that these people were a little off. And then I remember one time I was driving from, where the fuck was I going? Jesus Christ. I think I had done Bob and Tom, and then I was driving south. Was I driving over to Nashville, or was I going down to Atlanta? I was in either the southern part of Kentucky or the southern part of Tennessee. And I got out of the fucking car at this gas station. First of all, gas was like $1.30 because nobody had any fucking money. It was fucking something like that. It was nuts, and just like Southerners that would offend Southerners if they were in a Hollywood movie. Going like, we ain't like that, like fucking walking around with big gulps and fucking no teeth and shit. It just like going like, wow, what the, like, there's a pivotal point that you get when you get in the middle of fucking nowhere where you're between two major cities that have jobs and books, but these people live just past the gravitational pull of either city, and they're just out there floating. And decades go by, and nothing is done for these people, and they just sort of slip off into their own fucking deal. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. So I don't have a particular state. Come on, Bill. You're starting the fucking game. You got to pick a state. Let me see here. Problem is, I met a lot of nice people out there. All right, I'm going to go Pennsylvania. I'm going to go Pennsylvania because of Western Pennsylvania and the caricature that Philly fans have become, where now they just do crazy shit because they're supposed to do crazy shit. It's like watching Buffalo Bill fans. It's like, oh, we break tables. Okay, now how do we take this to the next level so I can be the guy who gets Instagram hits? My most respect is for West Coast fans because they will actually take a jail sentence and kill you. Why am I starting shit? Because it's fun. All right. Then for Europe, you have to go most arrogant country. What country? You know what? They're so fucked up over there. I don't want to get them going again. Because you can feel it's starting again. You know, it actually made me feel like, one World Bank might not be a bad thing just because these fucking people would then have a common enemy. It's kind of like when the Eastern Bloc, when Russia was controlling all of Eastern Europe, they had a common enemy and they kind of squashed all their shit. And then when Russia left or collapsed, whatever the fuck you want to say, then all of those fights, Bosnian Serbs, Croatians, and all of that shit just picked right back. Nobody had ever heard of it. It picked up. They were just like, and where were we? And they went right back the fuck in. Yeah. Europe's a tough place, man. There's just too many tribes. It's tribal over there. And they're too fucking close together. Because they was fucking and building up their tribes back before any sort of crazy public transportation. So back in the day, Poland was way the fuck away from Germany. You never went there your whole fucking life. And now you can get in your, on the Autobahn, right? You get on there, drive like a fucking zillion meters a mile, whatever, an hour, whatever the fuck they call it over there. And you're in Poland. And then they got all this back fucking history with each other, backtrace it, and they give each other shit. Next thing you know, it's all starting up again. And meanwhile, people are going to this fucking island banging kids, and they had the whole story, and nobody seems to give a shit. During the Me Too movement. Well, that was on an island, and nobody who did it had a television show, so it's not interesting to the Me Too movement. It's not something that is on our radar. Hey, somebody just is going to be a puppeteer on a puppet show. Let's vet him. Let's find out what kind of a fucking person he is before he puts his toxic fucking hand up that puppet's non-existent asshole. All right, that's the podcast here, everybody. any aspiring fucking creeps out there, you need to get your own island, evidently, and get some rich friends to come over there and participate in whatever the fuck it is you're doing, and the whole thing will go away. Enjoy the music. Enjoy your weekend, you cunts. And and after the music, there'll be another bonus Thursday afternoon just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. All right? Let's go LSU. Alabama. The Dreamers tonight. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast from Monday, November 7th, 2011. How the hell are you guys? Yeah, did you have a great week? Well, that's fascinating. Actually had a brutal day yesterday of watching football, and I have a big-time guest this week, so I won't really get into it. I'm just going to throw this out here, and I want to hear your guys' responses over the week. I believe, personally, if Dan Marino still played in the league, he would throw for fucking 6,000 yards. All right? I've had it. You can't even cover fucking receivers. I saw it during the Ravens game and all that type, but I'm not bitching about the Patriots at all. Congratulations to the Giants. The Patriots' defense is even worse than last year, and at this point, I think the Jets are going to win the division. I think they beat us next week, and I don't know. There's only so far throwing the football could get you if you can't stop it on the other end. So that's it. All right, so anyways, this is the podcast for this week. As mentioned, very special guest here to hype his brand new show. Good friend of mine. I toured with him earlier this year. I believe he called in on the podcast, welcoming him back. Can't even say it. Welcoming him back. Please welcome Mr. Dave Attell, everybody.
Billy, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, David.
It's an honor to be here on the Monday morning podcast, even though it's the afternoon right now.
You basically, that's the fucking email I get every week. Why don't you call it the fucking Tuesday? Why don't you go fuck yourself? I had a rough time. Not saying you. I'm talking about the listeners.
Why don't you call it Sometime Monday podcast?
Because for the most part, I get it up on Monday morning. How about that? For the most part, Monday morning.
Bill, is this your studio, or is this just like one of your many safe houses that you use to do this underground podcast?
This is one of my safe houses. Whenever I do when I actually have a guest in, I actually come here because it's going to actually sound like a radio show as opposed to my little gadgetry that I bought at Guitar Center, which is really, it's really been on the fritz lately, and people don't give a fuck when it's just me, you know. I don't know if you looked at my IMDb page, Dave. I'm at the premium blend level. You know what I'm saying?
No, dude, you're so underselling yourself, because I think on IMDb you went up past Scott Bakula right now because of the Breaking Bad, dude. Every white guy's fantasy. I've never been jealous of anybody acting, because I think acting is a little fruité. But when you were on that show, which is my favorite show, I was like, yes, that's great.
Oh,
and you were great.
Nice. Very nice. And my acting you didn't think was fruité on that?
Not at all. No, that show is pure. Can I curse on your?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pure fucking man, that show.
You didn't think my beard was trimmed just a little too well?
Well, I don't have HD. I didn't look at you. I didn't look at that close. But you knew your lines, and they were pretty complicated.
Nia's been giving me shit lately, saying that I look like the gay guy on Modern Family.
Yeah. Now you ruined it for me. But that's the coolest show, and I know they do it in Albuquerque, and put it back.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
that
map.
was the shit. You know, I never had been to New Mexico, and I went out there. It was absolutely, at the risk of this getting a little gay here, considering we're a couple of guys. It was absolutely gorgeous state. You can literally see the weather changing, coming. And
it's crazy.
No Country for Old Men is one of my favorite movies.
They did that there, too?
They did that there. They
Wow.
actually, and of course, I didn't realize that until I left. And, a lot of that stuff that they shot where Josh Brolin gets killed in the end. Spoiler alert, I should have said. They actually shot that right down the street, at least the exterior of it. And I'm like one of those total fucking nerds where I like to drive over to where they shot something. And I like to get sad when I find out the place where, in Reservoir Dogs, the morgue where they shot, that doesn't exist anymore. When I find out it's a fucking Home Depot, I actually get sad, like I was on the shoot or something.
Well, that's your kink, I guess. But I'll tell you, I did Albuquerque a couple times, and I shot the Insomniac show a long time ago. We did Albuquerque, and back then the town was like, I guess, it was really kind of like an underground, kind of like off the map kind of town.
Yeah.
And we went to a strip club, and then we went back because there was nothing else open. And then it was like
you left the strip club and then
yeah,
went back?
Yeah, then we had to go back because there was like nothing else to do. And then the best part was like even the strippers like would strip, and then they would like just like change, and then they would go back to the strip club. There was like nothing else. They needed like a Denny's. I think this was before they needed some place to go.
You'd ask them for a lap dance. No, I'm off.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
off.
like I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, like a union worker. Yeah,
it was a kind of a family kind of feel to it, but we got the job done. But I really was so excited to see you on that thing, because I remember when we were on tour doing the anti-social tour.
Jim Norton's thing.
Yeah, you said you had just shot those things, the Breaking Bad. So
yeah, I had done. I did one in February, the one outside the car wash, and then the one where I got to act like I was actually a tough guy and knew how to fight. I did that one, shot that one in May. And it was cool. Got to work with Lavelle Crawford. So it's a bunch of comics.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of comics are on that show. And before we get too far into this, I do want to hype what you got going on here. You have a brand new show on Showtime called Dave's Old Porn.
Yes.
Which debuted about a week ago.
No, Bill.
2 weeks ago. Jesus.
Let's see. We're about 3 weeks in. And it's been going great. It's for premium cable, it's a hit.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people who are into retro porn, because it's mostly about the hairy 70s, early 80s porn of yesteryear, before Twitter. I've said this a million times, but before the web and all that kind of stuff. Old VCR top loading.
Dave's old
movies.
porn. So what? Just to let the listeners at home, Dave.
Yeah.
Just to paint a picture for them, what exactly? Tell us about the show without spoiling. Basically, what goes on?
Well, it's kind of the Mystery Science Theater of porn, where I bring out comics like this Thursday at 11:30 on Showtime. Bill Burr himself will be there.
That's right.
And we will be jumping from clip to clip through Nina Hartley, who is probably one of the greatest living legends of porn. Nina
Absolutely.
Hartley, delight. Super cool lady, and we watch her clips. Did you have fun watching her stuff?
Yeah, I was absolutely starstruck that she showed up.
Yeah, you
we
couldn't believe it.
I sat on a couch. It was me, Nina, and Dave watching and literally watching old porn and sitting there commenting on it. And I thought she was cool as hell. I was really definitely. I don't know how to I don't know, porn stars, they just don't judge anything. When you've just gone through all of that stuff that they've done, they just kind of like, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I freaked out at one point. You had
Don't give it away, Bill.
I know. I'm
we'll
teasing.
be posting a little bit of that clip
teasing.
this week on davesoldporn.com.
Doing a little teaser there, Dave.
What I realized is that, first of all, watching porn with women is different than watching porn with dudes. Like, Sausage Fest, Bachelor Party, Let's watch a couple of stag films, get drunk.
Everybody with their legs crossed, trying to hide their heart on. If you're younger, right?
Exactly.
But
we brought out some of the funniest ladies, too.
Ladies?
Whitney Cummings, Chelsea Handler, Margaret Cho. And it's cool watching with a woman because they get the woman's perspective on sex and porn and on the whole thing. And they like it, but they don't like it like we like it,
Right. That immediately was fascinating to me. What did you find was different?
Well, they definitely do not like double penetration, anal, donkey punch, anything that you, any kind of jizz, facials and money shots. All that stuff is really not in their bucket list of, I hope one day to do this with my Prince Charming.
I think it all depends on, I think for most women that is like that, but then every once in a while you'll meet a real thoroughbred and they'll actually be relating to it the way you do.
Yes. It's hard to talk about.
I actually saw, I was messing around with this girl a long time ago, and I watched one of those Max Hardcores.
Yes, I love that guy. And, he's in jail now.
Yeah,
he's great.
And I remember saying to her, like, you're not going to watch, my porn I'm watching at this point is really twisted. You don't want to watch this shit. And she says, like, no, put it on. So I put it on. And she was actually, I actually got self-conscious. I shut it off, and I was like, I can't watch this with you.
Yeah, you feel bad.
And then she was just like, what? What did she say? She said she wanted it, is the way she said it, which was just the classic accused line. And I had a lot of fun with that girl, Dave.
Oh, good for you.
I really
Bill,
did. I really did.
You're an unassuming type. So I never even thought you liked porn because some of it, I don't think you really understood what we were doing. But then I think once you got into it, you really dug in, and I like that because at first we were watching this movie that Nina made with Tracy Adams, who's another legend of porn, called The Ultimate Lover with Eric Edwards, and it's kind of a Frankenstein-esque film, and we try and jump through the whole film, and it was really difficult, wasn't it, to watch an entire movie?
Yeah.
I mean, you never do that in real life, watch a whole porn from beginning to end.
Yeah, you just go right to the point.
Yeah, exactly. Or fast forward or whatever, or, the phone rings or your boss walks in, it's over,
Well, you know what it was about? I got this weird, I think it's the being raised Catholic thing.
Yes.
It's like as crass as I am on this podcast, all the shit that I say and some of the stuff I talk about on stage, I curse a lot, but I do stay away from sex. For some reason,
you're a good guy.
I can say cunt on stage. I can do all that type. I trash women, misogynistic stuff. Arguably, I don't think so. I like to think I have a point, but but for some reason, if I talk about sex on stage, I'm always really self-conscious, and I feel like I'm being crass. I don't know why, and I'm not judging. Yeah. Someone who talks about sex. Is just personally, I think it has to do with that sort of upbringing. So probably the episode I did with you, that was the initial, going out. God, I'm talking about this. This is on TV because I had no idea what the show was.
Yeah,
I was how hardcore you were going to do it, or the way you guys were going to edit around stuff. Which I saw a clip, which is fucking genius, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's really funny. And we floating on the couch there.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, come on, man. You're 3 weeks in. They know.
Right. You're
they
right.
know.
I'm sorry.
I'm
like Lucas. I don't want to give away any of the secrets. George
Well,
Lucas
thank you
would
for
never.
we're working with an actual comedian and a human being and not having me digitally put in there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, let me tell you something. It rocked out because we had great comics like you and Jim Norton and Adam Carolla. And, of course,
has Norton's aired yet?
No, not yet. But
I gotta see that
Norton to porn is like he's the Sacagawea. Yeah. He can find a three-way. He could find the three-way at a church picnic. I mean, he is the best. I mean, he really gets into it. We have these great close-ups of him. But I can see for yourself how
he would
it was
be
a
like
little
a great analyst on ESPN, except it's porn. That's why I want to watch. That's why I was asking. When is Jim's? I got to.
Jim's is coming up. He's towards the end of the run. But right now, last week's show, for those who did watch, and I think your crowd kind of would dig this, like the people listening to this podcast.
Absolutely.
This podcast
Dave's Old Porn.
Well known. Was the young porn stars, Belladonna, Christina Rose, Bobby Starr, watching the old retro hairy porn. And you'll never believe this, Bill, but they found it quaint. They were like, look at this. This is adorable.
Oh,
the hair
so
they
young.
didn't really dig, but they like hair a little bit. But the sex, they were like, look how adorable. They're cuddling and kissing. They don't do that. In today's porn, it's really like you said it in the show. I'm not going to give it away, but it's like a workout. It's like a P90X video. It's like fucking hardcore and extreme. So am I talking too much?
No, not at all. But
is that possible on a podcast to talk too much?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But you got to give me credit being 15 minutes in and I've yet to go. So, Dave, what is the inspiration for your material? Did you always want to? What were some of the jobs you had before? I don't think we've said this yet. Thursday, 11:30 on Showtime. Dave's Old Porn, the new hit show.
Yeah. It's a hit. It's doing really well. It's right after Gigolos, which is about a couple of male escorts.
Great lead.
So there you go.
Got a great lead.
It's the late night block.
And then the Twitter account is @oldporn, and the letter O in porn is actually not the letter O. It's zero. It's the number 0.
Because that's Twitter. But let me tell you this, Bill. If they go to the davesoldporn.com website, they'll be able to see pictures and clips of upcoming shows. Your show will be this Thursday, and other stuff that we have shot. So, but it's really it's. When you say, how did I come up with the idea? It's I've been working on this idea for 4 years. I think I've told this to you 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I want to say
drunkenly, sober.
We shot this a year ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I shot some. Yeah, we shot this last summer, and it took so long to edit because it's all about post production. You saw,
right.
And but besides that, I've been working on it for years and years, and I came up with the idea. It was co-created by Stuart B. I don't use his last name because he is in television, but Stuart Bailey, and he's helped. Help me shape and guide it. And Showtime is the best place for it because, we're allowed to show everything up to penetration. So
that's
everything,
awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, and I thought when I was...
And there's always the one guy who's like, where's the penetration? It's like, I'm with you, dude. I'm totally with this guy. It's like, I feel like I cannot save this man. It's like,
no, you got to...
I love porn, so what can I do?
But what you're doing is you're kind of doing it the way they do movie trailers right now.
Yes.
Where when they show a movie trailer, they show the entire movie except for the basically the conclusion of the third act. They show you right up until how the hero solves it.
Right.
And I think that's what you're doing with porn. Because if you actually show the penetration, then there's no point. You want people to laugh. You don't want people rubbing one out as they're watching it, right?
I'd like a little of both. I'd like people to go like, that was funny, and now I'm hard. What do I do? Like that kind of a thing. And the dog runs out of the room. Something weird.
Is this how you pitched the show when you came in?
I'm a great pitcher, Bill. You never give me credit for this, but I'm a great pitcher. Even on the Antisocial Show, we were both talking about ideas. Do you remember that one time we ran into each other where it was for a pilot, right? And you got the pilot. Remember? It was like pushing the guy through the wheelchair with the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
And I was reading this one. I was like, this is a really funny show. And then, like, I saw you there. I'm like, oh, this guy is the guy to do it. And I think you got that show. You're a good actor. That's what I'm trying to say.
Did. I don't know. I think I'm a good actor if somebody gives me a chance to. I'm not the greatest auditioner.
All right, miss. Stop crying.
Auditionerer.
You're not the greatest auditioner. Are you a trained actor, or are you just from growing up in Boston? Everybody's like either an actor
I just took acting classes from. That's funny.
Or a boxer.
Would it be helpful?
There's 3 jobs in Boston: bank robber, unappreciated boxer, and then of course actor.
Ben Affleck, I think, has made two out of those 3 movies.
What a hard on you must have got watching that, hearing that Southie accent. Sweetheart, where's his accent?
It's getting a little cartoonish at this point. I don't know if it's that. It's just that when you say, like, for years people ask me where am I from, and I would always say Boston, because I wouldn't say the suburb I'm from, because then it becomes like the suburb nobody knows. I'm just trying to get through that part of the conversation. Mm-hmm. But then after like the Goodwill Huntings and all that, if you say you're from Boston, people are like, Southie? You from Southie? And then you got to be like, no. So what I always say now is I am from the safe suburbs of South Boston. That's what I say.
Okay.
But even then, if you say Boston, they go, did you know someone who robbed a bank and then you kept your mouth shut? Can you get me a pistol? What's funny is I drank in a lot of those areas, and I never saw any of that going on.
I read that book, Southie, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I would ask Greg Fitzsimmons, who's also from Boston.
No, he's from upstate New York.
Is he? All right, but he kind of grew up.
You know how mad he would be if I said upstate New York? He bristles.
All right. Well, he's on my show too. Mm-hmm. All right. So he did a great job also. But I wanted to say that Boston definitely has like the comics, like, Louis C.K., Nick DiPaolo, and these are just the young guys. And then they have like that whole generation of like, Stephen Wright and all those guys. Yeah. I'm from Long Island. We got like Seinfeld, Kevin James,
Jiffy Jeff.
I know, it goes really quickly into comedy hypnotism. But no, there's a couple. Eddie Murphy, of course. We got some pretty good guys.
Yeah, no, Long Island's got a bunch of guys. I think. Or the whole like New York area, but
Long Island comics were different.
Oh, there's another bad question I could have asked you,
Go ahead.
Dave. I mean, you're just part of this long lineage of comedians that's just come out of Long Island. Was there something in the water? I mean, talk about what was it like?
We never drank water. Seltzer. You see, we're Jews. And immediately the podcast level went down. Jews.
I fucking hate
Jews.
No, I don't have a problem with them. Every once in a while, though, you'll meet one.
Yeah,
and you're like, that's how it happened. That's how it happened. No, fucking wrong.
You were in Irvine this weekend. I was like, any Jews here? None. Any Persians? A lot.
Dude, how about the fucking plastic surgery down there? Is that out of control?
Oh, there's some really hot chicks up there, man. That was the filthiest show I've done in a long time. Let me tell you the lineup, Bill, okay? It was me, Yoshi. You know Yoshi, right? Yep. Very, very funny guy, Asian.
I met him in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, Yoshi. This kid, Chris Neff, Jason from Canada. Do you know him? He's very dirty, too.
His name is
He's a very funny
Jason.
guy. Jason's Color or Sculler. Sorry.
Sorry.
Very funny guy. Really funny guy. I'm sorry. There was so many openers, I'm saying. And Sean Rouse, who's probably one of the filthiest guys with rheumatoid arthritis. He's very sad. So, like, you look at the sad character, but yet he's filthy dirty. And then the girls, too, were pretty, filthy, too. Rosie and Jen.
And how did the crowd take it?
They loved it. By the time I got up there, I was like, like Will Rogers.
Yeah.
There was like not one pussy joke left. I was talking about taint for like 40 minutes.
Up there making balloon animals.
Yeah, that was really. It's like one of those things. Like, I understand it's really hard to like have to find a comic that'll have filthy comedy with him, because like all these crowds are so PC now that like my crowd is cool and they dig it. But it really was like too many animals on the ark, if you ask me.
I hear you.
We needed definitely one guy to like break it up with.
Yeah, but they gotta love
Magic.
when you come to town. Not only do you have one of the best acts ever, of course, and I
Yeah,
know
that's not
you
true.
hate taking compliments.
No, dude, man,
you
I'm
hate
really-
taking compliments.
I'm really not that good
Jesus,
lately.
you're the light of the comedy.
These
eye.
guys were great. I had trouble following them.
But you you also sell a bunch of tickets and then they drink a lot. That's
true. Yeah,
that is that right there is the trifecta.
that's true.
We love listening to his act. A bunch of people show up and they empty the bar.
They are great drunks too. My crowd, they are like professional drunks. Back in the day when they were all like truckers and like just like crazy nomad type people. Now they're like adults with their wives and whatever. It's weird to see them, but they've aged nicely, I'd say. I'm headed to Phoenix to that new club. Do you know this place?
Oh, is that the one that what's his face Dan opened up?
Yeah, I think so. It's not the Improv, but the other one, the Phoenix Star.
Okay.
Club, something
That's
like
awesome.
that. But it's in Phoenix.
Well, hype that day when people are listening after you watch Dave's Old Porn 11:30 on Showtime Thursday night. Where can they? What weekend are you going to be out there?
This weekend. So what is
Oh,
that?
this weekend. You
Yeah.
are. Very nice.
And it's today Veterans Day.
I don't think so.
Okay, well it's coming up, so definitely.
I thought Veterans Day was in. No, that's Memorial Day.
No, the Memorial Day.
Flag Day's in June. Let's just go through the months.
Yeah, but
July 4th.
I think we're coming up on Veterans Day. So a big shout out to the troops, and I'll do it again
Okay.
and again and again
And
So,
again and again.
Here, I have a hat for you here, dude.
I
Just
got
for
to
my
get
show.
over there. Thank you very much.
You know what I like about you, Bill? Very little merch.
Very
when we
little
were all
merch?
hanging out on the Antisocial tour, you had you haven't written a book yet.
I don't believe in selling them shit that doesn't have jokes on it.
Right.
So I'm not saying books are bad, but I'm not into the T-shirt thing and the hats and all that type of stuff.
I just gave you a hat, though,
no,
dude.
but that's for a TV show. That's different. That's
Yes.
a badass hat too.
There you go. They come in kid sizes also. Dave's Old Porn. See, if I really was a whore of merch, I would be like, okay, we got this and this and this. But you know what? People don't have the money for merch, at least from my merch. Like, if you're like a Southern guy or something, people will buy anything, a lunchbox.
Well, on that
Let's talk about this.
that
This is
tour.
Okay.
On that tour, there was so much fucking merch. I mean, Jim Norton at this point has more books than like fucking Stephen King.
He really is
prolific.
crazy. Yes.
He has.
But
he has like for seriously, he's got 3 full novels that he's written.
Yeah.
He's got like, I don't know, 2-3 specials. And it was just, there was so much
and then
stuff
his
there.
shirts. Yeah.
There was, and then the shirt that we made for the tour. I finally just said, oh, by the way, I never got a fucking dime for that. Did you ever get anything?
No, I haven't gotten any of that stuff either. I haven't. It's somewhere out there. I don't know.
Are they still calculating it? I mean, when was our last date?
Yeah,
They're
a
still
while
trying
ago.
to add it up?
But the shows were good, but for some reason, I said casinos. This is a casino show. We're like Zeppelin in the '80s. Like people will come to a casino and fucking see us rock out our greatest hits. But then we tried to do all these other venues. That was rough. But Chicago was a good show.
No, I thought that they went too big too quick. But,
I said that too.
But I think
tickets were too much too.
Yeah, but
Today's audience.
But that fucking show was ridiculous.
It was a great show, I thought. I mean,
just for people who are new to my podcast, I did this tour. Jim Norton put it together, the Antisocial Network tour. Earlier this year, it was Dave Attell, Jim Norton, Jim Brewer, and myself, all gracing the same stage. The fact that
now you're too big to do it.
The fact that we didn't come out and sing songs, afterwards would have been tremendous. And you guys have a new lineup. Is you, Jim Norton,
Doug Stanhope,
and Artie
Lang.
Lang.
He's going to do a date or two. Yeah,
I think I'm going to buy a ticket to that one.
That's Bill. I mean,
see
listen,
what you did.
We loved having you, but let's face it, we have to go with the filthiest, dirtiest guys who are not acting on Breaking Bad right now, who are not waiting to hear from Tom Hanks on a movie.
No. I'm going to be back on that tour at some point.
Absolutely. You're always welcome back.
I'm getting ready to do another special, so I had to go out there running my mouth for a little over an hour just so I stay in shape for those types of things. But
how's that coming along with the material and everything?
I got it to the point where I definitely have this special. I just got to polish up a couple of things and just that deal. It's like you put out a special and then you want to do one that's as good, if not better, and then you also want it to be like a little bit different. So, I'm kind of pushing myself to try and do shit that I kind of knew I could do on stage, like sort of I do shit like when I drive around with my girl. Like if I'll imitate a conversation, but I'll only do my half of it. But by what I'm saying, you can understand what the other person's saying.
Okay, let's try it now. I'll be your girl. So go ahead.
I'm just saying that's one of the things I've been trying to work on. So, and I haven't done that in the other ones, just to give it something a little bit different. Because there's two schools of thought. You can do the AC/DC thing where you sing about the devil, your balls, and pussy.
I like that.
And you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And this is what we do. Go fuck yourselves.
Yes.
Or you can try to like change up, and every once in a while you have a big miss, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing, you know?
You grow.
Yeah,
the growth.
You have your U2 moment where you get the big bug-eyed fucking sunglasses. You do a special like that with no shirt on underneath.
You're like, who would it be? What would be the Steven Tyler? What's his band again?
I would be the Hootie and the Blowfish, I think.
Oh, no, come on. No, like they did like so many albums, and then like, you know, it's like they were like hot, and then they would like have to like restart again. They're like an amazing fucking band.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then they went through this whole last
from
thing.
Boston too.
Yeah, where Steven Tyler fell off the wagon. He so fell off the wagon that he actually considered going solo at 61 years of age.
Amazing.
Which would have been, I think that would have beat George Foreman winning the heavyweight title at 46. Personally,
I give you that. I don't know how these guys can tour like that, even though their tour is like an amazing, like of, you know, like buses and private jets and all that kind of shit. But it's still touring, and like, you know, just the amount of like people that must have to like be on the tour, like, you know, publicists and like, you know, nannies for all the, you know, third wife children, and, you know, just weird.
Somebody
weird
keeping track of all your scarves.
Yeah, exactly. Just like horribly, you know, like a traveling army, basically, like Spartacus with the people.
And also musicians, when they go on the road. Like the way we go on the road is like, you know, we go out for 4 days, come back.
A bag.
Yeah, go back. Like those guys were like, who the fuck was I reading about recently?
World tour. World tour.
Yeah, somebody went out. Oh, I was on yet another flight, and I was reading about the piano player or something for the Rolling Stones. And he was talking about, he was into trees.
Oh, really?
This is how long this flight was. We were in like a holding pattern over LAX, and I'm reading about this fucking guy, how he's into trees somehow. But he was talking how they did they were like 18 months straight on the fucking road.
Oh my God! Wow, really?
Like
without ever coming home? Just
that's how it's written.
Wow.
Like I don't get how you just leave and you never come back, because I'm kind of on this brutal stretch here where I did a tour through Europe, and you know that the flight going over is exciting because it's the anticipation, but coming back, it's like you don't give a fuck. You just want to get home, and you're going against the Gulf Stream or whatever, so it's like five extra fucking hours. And I was supposed to have a weekend off, and luckily something came up, and I had to go to New York. And I got to tell you, just like I'm such a pussy compared to those guys. I'm talking 3 weeks out. Like I hated my life. I hated the sound of my fucking voice.
Where was this, in England, or where were you? Like,
I went to I did one night in London, and then I went through Scandinavia. I did Copenhagen, Oslo, Stockholm, and then, which isn't part of Scandinavia, I learned is actually considered one of the Nordic countries, Finland. I did Helsinki, which you would have you would have loved Helsinki.
Why do you say I would love it?
Because you're an intelligent man. You like to travel. You're interested. You find people interesting.
I do.
Like a lot of people wouldn't know that about you. You are a fucking people person. Like when we visited the veterans in when we were all at the Pentagon,
right?
And we're walking in there, and there's these kids, and they suffered those horrible injuries. And I remember all of us on the tour were standing there like wanting to say something, not knowing what to say, and you just walked right in, like you just like you'd known them their whole life. And I gotta be honest, dude, when I was in there, I just followed your lead.
No, you gotta. Yeah, it's a very difficult situation when you go visit the wounded soldiers, but you got to think of it from their perspective. They're just in a constant state of like rehabilitation. You know, they're young. A lot of them are really young. They're like trying to figure out what they're going to do with it. It's such a horrible, horrible situation. Each one of them, their parents. Sometimes their parents are with them, and the parents don't know what to do. And it's like anybody who's sick, but then some. I mean, it's really hard to not just break down, but you got to power through it for these dudes. And they love that you came. And
dude, I got to tell you,
it broke up the monotony of them, and you'll never forget it. And hopefully, it helped them pass the time. So
and you were like killing. You were fucking hilarious. You were going in, just doing those fucking.
Oh, they love it because they got a dark sense of humor.
Yeah. So that was the thing.
You don't go through all that shit and not come out realizing that God has a sense of fucking humor. I mean, really, honestly.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure that I went in there that I wasn't looking at him like well, you wouldn't want to sit there being a fucking. There was that line you had to walk like you know. I respect what you've done, but I don't want to sit there and look at you like you're this pity case.
They are,
and I want to treat you like a regular fucking person, but then not be so regular that I'm disrespectful. So I'm telling you, I just like the Tour de France, I just drafted behind you, and I watched you go to a couple of tables, and I kind of figured out what I was going to do, and I saw everybody do that, and everybody after a while, Norton, Brewer. All of a sudden, I saw all of them were going around the room, and then like within 20 minutes, it's like you didn't want to leave. Was really, man, that tour was fucking awesome, man. Yeah,
that was great. And then we gave them tickets, and a lot of them came to the show, and that's really cool too because first of all, like they're stuck in this hospital and they want to get out. A lot of them like can't drink or whatever because they're on these heavy duty meds that you and I can only dream of. These amazing medications, like Conrad Murray type fucking medication. And they finally get a night out, and they're like young dudes. They want to laugh and have a good time, get laid, and all that. But they got to wait because they're on this. They're getting better. So that was great that we did that. That was the highlight of the tour, I think, for all of us. That we got to go to the Pentagon.
Yeah, that was the shit.
Took a couple of pictures with my turban camera.
I love it. I like too when you go to the Pentagon is how they have like that.
How unimpressive it is.
Well, you go in this. It's sort of like a mall in there. And they have like a gift shop. And they have like ATMs. I'm probably the door's going to get kicked open for me talking about the inner levels. I also found it fascinating that nobody really knew how many floors there were.
Yeah, nobody really knew where anything was.
And there was like, and then you'd meet that one guy who had like all this shit all over his shirt, and you'd be like, okay, this guy knows how many. He's got all these medals.
Didn't you think that like we were at like that's like the Pentagon that like everyone thinks is the Pentagon, but then like deep below it, like whatever, like 100 million feet is like the real
that's
nerve center, like. That's the old paranoid pothead in me thinking there's got to be something.
Yeah, I kept thinking of like war games
because they had like a coffee place and a gift shop and all that kind of stuff, and you never hear that in these movies. Like, get down to the gift shop, pick up a magnet. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, but what's
get
funny?
Me a latte and a refrigerator magnet of Lincoln.
Yeah, but I was cracking up because I went in there, and all of us went in there, and we're like total tourists.
Oh, God.
I remember Brewer going in because his dad's a World War II vet, seeing something, going, "Oh, my dad would love this," and I'm buying like fucking magnets.
I know.
And
you gotta buy something.
Norton's got like a coffee cup, dude. It's the fucking Pentagon.
It's so cool because like it's all government shit, so the change is hot right off the mint.
Do you
That's a joke. I've been trying to do a mint joke. Like, do you have a joke like that you've like? You've been trying to do the joke like for years and years and years. Like either you have the setup or you have the punchline, but like it just like it sticks. It's like
you got it. Yeah, something.
Like, I always want a change joke of like because I love change. So like I go to the mint. Either nothing's coming out, the economy sucks, or like it's really hot, like right off the press.
Yeah, you got to do something about a guy who's so like hooked up in the banking system that like.
Oh right, yeah, it's gonna be political.
Yeah, when he gave me like 50 cents back or something, it was still hot.
Who was that guy who had that joke where he goes like, I go to the U.S. Mint. And like I buy a T-shirt and I gave him a 20 and they couldn't find change. And it was like, well, look around, it's the mint. That was like I remember that in the 80s. I was like, I want to do a mint joke too. I think that's how it started. But anyway.
Oh, hey, I that just reminded me as far as like great jokes. I just was working in St. Louis and I had a local comedian open up. Do you know Andy Smith?
Could his name be more generic?
No, female.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Oh
yeah, yes, she's great. She is a great joke writer.
Hilarious.
How about the table joke?
Oh yeah, I wanted.
That joke, I remember that joke.
I wanted that. Yeah, that's the one I quoted. But I just don't want to blow up her spot here because I know that I'm gonna be doing her best fucking material. But like. Yeah, she's in St. Louis, and I worked with her in Nashville, and I just was out there. I want to thank everybody, by the way, who came out to Cleveland, Madison, and St. Louis this weekend. I had a fucking awesome time.
Well, and I'd like to thank the Irvine people. And,
there we go. Look at this.
And, of course,
it's a love
the Phoenix
fest
people in the future, since I never know when this Monday to whenever podcast will air.
Well, hopefully Patrick here.
Patrick is an empty man.
We're in his apartment from Nobody Likes Onions podcast. One of the original podcasts, by the way.
By the way.
He'll be the first to tell you.
Oh, really?
He started the whole. He's like the Al Gore of podcasts.
I didn't know that.
He started the whole fucking thing.
No wonder he looks bitter. But I have to say, he's a single guy, right, Pat?
He's swinging, man. He's out there. He's fucking.
Whatever.
His
apartment does not look like a single guy. Well, the big screen TV and the couch really close. That's single guy, but it doesn't reek of singleness. It's like kind of like vacuumed and nice. And
I think that's because when the IRS comes and he just walked in, jump on the podcast.
I was giving you props for your apartment.
We were just talking about how clean it was. You look like you're slimming down a little bit. Patrick Melton, everybody.
Do you wear shoes around your house?
Yeah, I do. Because it's covered in glass and blood and just sad, broken dreams.
Yeah, he was trying to say this is really nice. I think the
you
reason
have wall-to-wall carpeting.
the
That's
reason
pretty cool.
why this is so nice, I believe, is because it's also a business. So he has to make it look at that in case the IRS kicks open the door to be. There's no podcasting going on here, young man.
I'm kind of like an OCD clean. Like I don't have a lot of dirt or germs.
You like?
I make gay hand motions when I speak.
That's okay. We get
It's
it.
a habit.
Is that what it is?
Hey, you have every right to do that.
Yeah, it's your.
People
That's what I do now. Whenever somebody brings up a gay joke, I just applaud and like tear up because there's no good answer anymore. Like you can't retort or anything, or else you're an asshole.
Carry those little confetti poppers and just
No, even that's too much.
mini pride parade.
That's that insults them somehow.
Hey, how far into this are we? Like, so I can kind of
'cause
try and time
38.
this thing out here.
Okay.
38. All right.
How long is your podcast usually?
It's usually an hour long.
Oh,
so here's
shit.
one for you.
ahead.
Believe it or not, somehow I started giving out advice on my podcast. I don't think
You?
I don't think
I mean, you?
I don't think anybody takes it seriously. But it just so happens, Dave, that somebody wrote one in. I think you might be able to help out. It has to do with porn and that type of thing.
Oh,
and you're,
cool.
And you're here to hype Dave's
Go
Old
ahead.
Porn.
Yeah,
Dave's
go
Old Porn.com.
I'm leaving again. I just heard
No,
my name.
come on.
Okay,
Pat.
go ahead.
Pat, you brought like
Go
more
ahead.
energy.
It's
into the
okay.
room. I got to
Oh.
smoke at some point. I know there's no non-smoking podcast, but go ahead.
You can smoke in here. It's not
I
my
can't.
apartment. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but
do it.
Pat will get pissed.
It'll remind me of the old days going to the.
He'll put on shoes and kick my ass. Go ahead. What's the?
Yeah, light up, Dave. Come on. It's
No, I'm
LA.
not going to do that.
It's LA. All right.
I respect the man. So.
All weather carpet.
Very, very,
exactly.
yeah.
All right, advice, Bill and Dave. We'll add that. I need your help. I dated this chick and I feel for her. I think I love her. What song was that? I feel for you. I think I love you.
I don't know. Bobby Darin or something?
No, come on, man. It was 80s. I'm gonna keep singing it till you
Whitesnake?
know it. I feel for you.
That's what I say about any song. Whitesnake?
I think I love you. What fucking? Oh, it's gonna kill me all day. All right. Well, anyways, he said what split us apart is that she didn't like porn.
Ah!
And I promised her I wouldn't watch it. She had self-esteem problems, and like an idiot, I broke it. I guess he broke her self-esteem. Oh, this guy's kind of a dick. I tried fixing it, and for a while things went back to how they were. But she wanted a break. I agreed. But later she started to like another guy. I didn't like that and tried to get back with her. We had sex, and things were going great. I thought everything would go back to the same. But later she said, we can't have sex. After, I felt depressed because I knew she didn't like me anymore, and she started liking this other guy. When I was depressed, I didn't talk to her much. It lasted for 3 days. This kid must be young.
Yeah.
It lasted for 3 days, and during that time, she started dating the guy. Brutal spelling errors, so forgive my already bad reading out loud skills here. We're about halfway through here if you want to start lighting that cigarette. I asked her why she went off and dated a guy she doesn't know. She said, because I was detaching myself. I want to get over her, but I'm having trouble. Only time I am happy is when I listen to stand-up comedy and your podcasts.
Did you write this yourself?
No, he goes,
Bill?
I'm smooching your ass there. I feel bad for breaking her heart, and because I feel like she didn't love me. Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy isn't even making sense. I was always there for her. She had many problems when she was alone. I stuck up for her. I know I screwed up.
Oh, this is like
Yeah,
a
this is bad.
suicide note.
And
is
what
this kid
I-
okay? No, honestly, is he all right?
Anyways, he's basically asking, how can I get over her and move on?
Well,
What do you say, Dave? What is some
this is
of
what
your,
I say.
your formulas?
Booze and porn will help you in the immediate thing, but in the long run, yeah, you gotta just there's whatever. You gotta get out there. I mean, this kid, he's still trying to like get this chick, but she's already moved on. Because we all know one thing: guys got porn, but women can fuck any guy they want. I mean, honestly, like if you don't treat a woman right, she will go out and like fuck your twin brother just to show you that like you gotta, whatever.
Oh,
they're vicious.
They are.
Can be vicious, or they can be amazingly cool. So either way, he should just say like, you know what, chalk this one up for experience, move on, next chapter in my life.
Yeah.
And use the porn and the booze sparingly, but keep it in the back pocket. And there are chicks that like porn, so maybe the next one won't have such a big problem about it. But this girl, it's called a dead end. Move forward. That's what I say.
I have one of my theories is when you break up with someone is you get the fuck away from them.
Good idea if you can.
Because women got that. They're just fucking geniuses when it comes to just knowing, right? They can just sense, like, wait a minute, he's getting over me. And then they'll fucking call you up and just spin your shit around and then just hang up and be, mission accomplished. And they just do that until they're over you, and then they just leave you in a puddle in the corner. So my thing is you just fucking, you break it off and that's it.
Exactly. You're right. Maybe this kid, he works with this chick or she lives near him or something like that. But you're right. He's got to clear the decks, move forward, new experiences. Like, it's scary, but you got to just get out there and do shit. But the porn will help you, honestly. And this girl should have been such a priss about the porn thing. And, it's amazing how she got over him so quickly.
You're not going to marry this girl. You can't watch porn
Exactly.
with her. You can't watch porn with her. This isn't your wife.
I'm emotionally dead as an old man here. And let me just tell you something, kid. One day you look back and laugh at this if you still have teeth.
All right, what else we got? We got dilemmas here, Dave. Would you like to try a dilemma?
Let's try a dilemma.
A dilemma. Let's see if we can.
Is this like an ancient dilemma, like of a man stands on one foot and talks?
No, this is more just this is sophomoric.
Okay, there you go.
Fucking horseshit.
I like how
here.
Bill, you don't even. Is this the first time you're seeing this stuff?
Oh yeah, I don't
That's
read
great.
this shit.
That's
I don't
good.
read. I just totally wing it. All right. Let me. It was a really brutal one here. All right. We'll give this to you, Dave. Would you rather eat a tablespoon of Kim Kardashian shit, or suck an entire fart directly out of Rosie O'Donnell, sucking directly on her obese balloon nut?
Wow. It sucks when you want to do both. It sucks when. Well, I don't know. I would say that I would go. I don't know. That's a definitely coin toss, if you ask me. Because I
mean, if anybody's shit's gonna taste good, you got to think. I mean, she's so primped and proper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I think
you're right.
she gets some sort of ass pedicure. I would think, like.
Oh, Kim?
Yeah. Once a week or something.
Every hole is insured by something, Lloyd's of London. But no, she's super hot, so everybody would go with her. But you know what? I'm going to take it the other direction, go with the Rosie, whatever the hell you said.
Oh, look at that left turn.
I'll even take it a step further, because to show you how much I really have no self-esteem, I would eat Susan Boyle's box if it granted wishes. And even everybody goes, what if one of the wishes was you never remember eating her box? It's like, I don't even give a shit. I'm sure it's as sweet as her beautiful voice. Bill.
Oh.
Bill, in your hypothetical world.
The noises she would make.
Non-pot. What?
The noises she would make.
Can you imagine?
I think she would pass up. Wouldn't that be great to get there on those children's novel pasty thighs? It's really like she has like fairy tale legs, I would think. You know what I mean?
She has angel farts. She just queefs angel prayers.
I got to tell you, I think I would go with Rosie O'Donnell.
I would do that
because
too,
at the end of the day, it's air, and it just doesn't seem as bad. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Kim
get
is so hot though.
I'm gonna get science. Yeah, but you're not really experiencing her. She's just gonna shit on a plate, like basically how
you get to see her do it. She doesn't like an assistant brings that in, right? You get to see her.
She's very busy. She's out. She's dodging the everyone who was outraged that her sham of a marriage was a sham of a marriage.
But I don't
understand
Bill.
who felt they got fucked in that one. Who do you feel bad for? The poor people at People Magazine that have $1 million to pay for those dumb photos.
I honestly could not give a shit about any of that bullshit or whatever. But I'm just going to say this right now. Don't you think just from living in America of pumping gas and using a cash machine that you've somehow over your entire life, just the contact of people of other people touching shit, that you've eaten a shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that if you add it
collectively,
all that up, collectively, yeah, it's probably a nice big turd.
Yeah. Probably need to get your stomach pumped, Rod
maybe when
Stewart.
you go to heaven, they show you this is how much shit you've actually eaten. God gives you all
that's
those
hell.
like how much change you've given to homeless people. He has that chart.
I had somebody in St. Louis did that. You shake hands afterwards, and you always have that hand sanitizer afterward. Yeah. And I actually had an audience member deny to shake my hand. He goes, I'm not, because of everything
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, yeah, I totally understand why you wouldn't want to at this point.
Yeah, who
and I
gives
always
a
make
shit,
sure I if I'm going to scratch my face, it's always with my left hand. Like I totally get why Howie Mandel is probably the most famous for it. Doesn't want to shake hands, and people thought it was weird, but if you're really honest with yourself and you think about the last 24 hours, some of the things that you've done to yourself,
Yeah.
and you maybe were in a hurry,
Oh,
you didn't
exactly.
quite clean up,
But think about it this way: I've been to the third world, and like they can only
live to
dream
tell about it.
Yeah, and they can only dream of
Toilet
wet
paper.
wipes and Purell and shit like that. I mean, they're filthy all the time, and they love it, and they always have a big smile.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Don't they like shit on the side of the road?
Sometimes, yeah.
And they just like squat in the one fountain that's in their country.
There's some of that, yeah. I've actually seen that. So
don't
yeah.
they have like the people's bidet?
The People's Bidet? Is that a new show? That sounds like a new show on a new network. We do it differently here at OWN.
You know something? I thought I was going to travel the world and find out how bad capitalism is. I actually think it's still good.
I think it's good, too.
It's a little out of control, but there's something when everybody has everything, there's just there's no motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what's really sucks for like people out there that are listening, because I've been like starting to follow this whole like take back Wall Street and all that kind of stuff. Is like,
Right.
even though the message is very like obscure right now, they're dead on. It's like a lot of these kids, especially the kids with the heavy college debt, and just people like working at jobs, like regular jobs. I used to have like many regular jobs, okay?
Right.
And like the whole thing was like, okay, you get a Christmas bonus. If the company did really well, maybe you get another bonus. That would be cool if you worked for that kind of company. I used to sell shoes, so it was like the more shoes you sell, like you get a bonus. And then like the next year, like you're like, okay, cool, I've moved up. So now I get a bigger salary. There's none of that. People get a job, they get more work. It's like, oh, you got to put in another extra hours, taken away from your family and your other shit. But there's no more money.
No.
So it's like that whole idea of like, I'm going to work my way up in this company, or I'm going to do this. That's over. It's like you should just be lucky to have a job. Fuck you. No, I shouldn't.
No.
I'm giving up my life for this fucking job. I want to be rewarded if I'm doing a good job. Shouldn't be just the head guy who gets all the bonuses and the perks.
I fundamentally what they're doing there is right. It's just a shame that they are going to, the couple, anytime there's a crowd, first of all, there's some perverts are going to show up.
Oh yeah,
that's like their South by Southwest festival when they see like a crowd that they can go dry hump up against somebody. There's always going to be the dude who throws something through a fucking window.
Yeah, there's that guy.
Like those people, it's like you go to a football game. You can sit there and have a good time, but there's going to be some guy with his man tits out. Somebody's going to be puking in the corner. There's going to be, when you have a crowd. But essentially what's going on there is good. It's good for America. And I think what those kids are doing there, God bless them.
I like it because
God bless them.
It's like I always thought this generation was just like Xbox, like sit at home, comment on everything, like it, hate it, you suck. I'm talking about my own, experience.
Oh, dude, I think I get the same 10
but
guys.
It's good to see these like people going out and like, trying to like really do something. So I give them credit.
I think it's phenomenal. Actually, some people got together and they stopped a bank from, they had some new charges, which is fucking hilarious because these cunts are the ones who screwed everything up.
Who?
The bankers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if everybody I don't get how we all work every week. And you basically give them 90% of your paycheck every week.
Yeah.
You have all the money. How did you lose it?
Well,
what's the deal with the banks?
All I know is this, like, as an old man who's trying to support an older woman, my mother, right? All I know is, like, I do the right thing. I put my money in the 401k if I have some money or blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing in there. There's no, like, interest on it. It's like I might as well go out and bling it up.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe these rappers are right. Go out and just buy, a clock and a car you don't need and a helicopter. At least you have something instead of like looking at your bank statement 0.1 whatever. Like you're lucky if it like makes like $5 or something.
Oh yeah, the dumbest thing I ever did was invested my
like a
money.
paper route.
You can't get it back. They'll give it back to you, but with the penalties and the fees, and then those motherfuckers like every 5 years. They just yank the rug out from underneath it. Every once in a while, they will arrest like some lady who makes a bunt cake, and they'll send her to jail and say that she did something fucked up. But the real heavyweights down there, come on.
Oh, I don't even understand like this whole Euro thing with the unless
Greece.
they bail out Greece, everyone's gonna fall. Like Spain and then Portugal. Like there's like these countries. It seems like the cooler the country is, the more at risk they are of their economy falling apart. Like Germany, very straight and whatever, rigid. Everyone, they're like the strongest economy, and then like Norway and Sweden, whatever. But once you get into like the places where you can get a tan, like Portugal, Spain, Italy, the fun places.
Hey, you know what somebody told me about comedy over there? They said that you don't want to go south of Berlin. Once you go south of Berlin, immediately they just want to see a titty pop out and somebody slip on a banana peel. It's very Benny Hill.
Oh, really?
South of that. So, if you want to pontificate, you got to go to like the Netherlands.
Oh,
you got to stay up that way.
I don't know how you guys do it. I know Stanhope, who I think is the best comic I've ever seen because he's the most filthiest, dirtiest, never holds back.
He's
great
a fucking
comic.
genius.
He's our Jeremiah Johnson, if you know movies. He's the last renegade. But he
really is living the life. That guy.
He really is amazing, and he blathers on. But what?
He lives in like the Sahara Desert. Or
no,
something
he lives
like
in Arizona.
Yeah, I didn't want to say where he lives, but I know he lives in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. He does. He's getting ready for the apocalypse, like Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Bill, you saved that show, by the way.
No, he's doing that. By the way, he's
you'll be hearing that a lot on Bill's episode of Dave's Old Porn.
He's actually he's doing everything Sarah Connor did except the pull-ups. That whole part with the working out.
She's so hot. Oh my God, that was the beginning of Women Cop Show. You remember? It's like, this sassy broad's going to change this whole department.
That's right. And then
every
some
show
retired
now
football player be your partner.
Yeah, it's like
Fred Dreyer. What was that show? Remember that chick with her hair all teased up?
I don't know, but I'd love to be one of those, like, Peg, do you think this is not procedure? Like just one of the guys who fuels her
angst.
Amazing.
In
copness.
season 3, because they're out of like story ideas, you guys actually have like a scene where you get to bang her in her
no way,
her power suit on her fucking desk.
That's like a guest, like Ryan Reynolds guest stars as the lawyer. Like they have to get like a really good looking dude because it's all for women anyhow. Like women's fantasies.
I know. All right. Well, we're coming down towards the end of this.
Yeah, let's
before we
finish hard.
Yeah. Let's do the. Let's leave them wanting more there, Dave. Okay, one more time. For some reason, I love how I keep saying this shit like it's a live radio show and people are just tuning in. But I'm old school. Maybe somebody's walking by somebody's cubicle. I have David Tell here. He's promoting his new hit show on Showtime, Dave's Old Porn.
I'm very happy with it. It's very good.
Oh yeah, I saw some clips of it. It's fucking hilarious.
And I hate all my stuff, but I'm like, the comics are super funny. The porn people are great, so I'm very cool with it.
Well, it's awesome. So this Thursday, 11:30 on Showtime, 11:30 p.m. You can see yours truly hanging with Dave and Nina Hartley. If you want to go to his website, it's davesoldporn.com. What is this?
That's all the info is on that. Dave'sOldPorn.com.
Dave'sOldPorn.com. All right, you want to do a couple more dilemmas? Let's get fucking silly here, and then we'll get out of here,
smoke.
right?
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go. Sorry. Here we
go. Dilemma.
All right, Jackie O or Marilyn Monroe?
You know what? I never really found either one of them that hot, but I'd have to say, I guess Marilyn Monroe would be the cooler one.
She had a major fucking bunt.
Yeah, she was. Not
you ever
bad.
see that? No. How out of shape you could be and still be hot back in the day.
That's true. But she was definitely like, I guess, the first party girl that like we all know. Not really. There's other ones like Jane Mansfield and all the rest. The ones that they would have the picture, like the guys in World War II would be like, that's what I'm fighting for. Boy.
I think Jane Mansfield is the Kurt Cobain, and Marilyn Monroe is Eddie Vedder.
You couldn't even think of women to equate.
I'm just saying because I think Jane Mansfield was the real fucking deal.
I agree with you.
And didn't she? Yeah, she got her face peeled off and everything. There's a lot of like lines
right.
there.
It was a horrible ending there.
Yeah, that really was.
Ooh,
there's actually a word for that. Something
ironic?
that happened. No, there's something that happened to her. It wasn't decapitated. She had something else. What the? It's on her Wikipedia page.
Pakistan. It's something that they only do in Pakistan.
What is it? It's what it means. Basically, you get scalped. There's a medical word for it.
Well, you got to say she was in a car accident, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, she was in a car accident.
With the weightlifter guy was her husband, right? But he lived.
Yeah, the 18-wheeler. I think he ducked and she didn't.
Oh.
And they went, it's basically that.
Vivisection is when they open you up. Well, which one would you take there of Marilyn Monroe?
Depends on what I want to do. If I just want to bang some chick that I don't give a fuck for a couple of months, be Marilyn. Jackie, if I want to get married, I want to settle down. and deal with her and her long fucking gloves.
And she
would be
speaks
Jackie
French.
O. Can you look up Jane Mansfield and find out what the medical term is for being scalped, if you don't mind? Patrick Melton, everybody, host of one of the original podcasts out there. Nobody likes onions. Anyways, let's do another dilemma here.
So Patrick has his own podcast besides your podcast.
No. This is his studio. He's allowing me to be here. That's why the quality of this,
it's really professional,
is so fucking amazing. All right, Dave, would you rather never have sex again, or be able to have sex but you can only eat Taco Bell breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of your life?
Yeah, that's called comedy in the 80s. Yeah. That one. That's really not a dilemma. That's how it was.
All they're missing is the
You
blow.
want scalping like tickets or like scalping?
Yeah, she died. She died. She went underneath
She had like the top
truck.
of her head. Like,
What do you want me to look up? I'm
Just
confused.
go on a Wikipedia page.
Who?
Jane Mansfield.
wow, that show 24 makes it look so much more exciting when they have the guy. Now look up this.
They get it in like 5 seconds. Yeah, and you know what happens? And everybody gathers around on the computer, and nobody can see it.
You're
Nobody can see it
right.
except for the hero. They go, whatever. It's just
That
a Wikipedia
super hot
page.
goth girl who's like, yeah, I got it. Typing. Okay, that was a good one, though. But I would say anything with Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell, but I'm old now. So Taco Bell is like eating candy. Like, you can only do it occasionally. But I used to live on Taco Bell. Growing up on Long Island, we'd get wasted. We'd fucking hit the Taco Bell. And we
7-layer burrito.
Everything. We'd just like give us everything because we know eventually we're going to eat it. You know, so it's just like tons of stuff.
You know what I love about them is their attempt to keep coming up with new dishes with those same 4 ingredients. You know, just gluing the chips together with fucking with the cheese and then the hamburger meat. It's always the hamburger meat, some sort of taco, and then just a bunch of fucking cheese.
Oh, I love
it.
it.
They just changed the shape of it. I would say I would just not have sex again, and because I figure if I eat Taco Bell 3 times a day, I'm gonna fucking die, and my dick just isn't gonna work with all that grease in there anyways. So I might as well eat healthy.
You know,
I'll take yoga class and try to teach myself how to come without touching myself in the down dog position.
Wow.
I thought that deserved a laugh.
It says her death certificate says she was killed by a crushed skull with an avulsion of cranium and brain.
Avulsion. Look up avulsion. Maybe that's what it was.
But back to the Taco Bell thing for a second, because food and avulsion.
I think that's one of their new dishes.
An avulsion is an injury in which the body structure is forcibly detached. It's most commonly referred to as surface trauma, where all the layers of the skin have been torn away, exposing the underlying structures, subcutaneous tissue, muscle, tendons. It's similar to an abrasion, but much more severe, as body parts such as an eyelid or an ear can be partially or fully detached from the body.
Oh, that's what she got her face peeled off.
Comes from the
That's
Latin
what it was.
word to tear off.
Yeah. Dude, you know those fucking drug cartels down in Mexico that they tortured this guy to death? They fucking peeled his face back.
No way, really?
Yeah, and I was just thinking of all the sick jokes, because when you pull it back, it just looks like the guy's doing the cheesiest smile ever.
Oh, like
because it's just, it's all the oh yeah, it's fucking
like in what was the movie? You know, with the Pinhead guy. You know, Pinhead. But
was it called Pinhead?
No, but what was the name of the movie though?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they, ripped the skin off. I love that guy. That was so fucking cool. Before Paranormal Activity, I love that. But Bill,
avulsion.
what I want to say was that Mexican stuff is a crazy. Whatever's going on down there, that's fucking crazy. And they got a new show, Juarez, Mexico. I haven't watched it yet, but I bet you that is definitely the town where we should do a special.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, imagine
like Mexico City?
It's like, do we get paid here? Yeah, here's your pay. You get to leave alive.
Yeah.
Get out of here. He's like, okay, we're backing across the bridge. Relax. Everything's good. Relax.
How hardcore would you go, though? I know that you have performed for troops on bases.
Oh yeah, all over the world,
in Afghanistan and all these hardcore places. But what's the most hardcore?
Curacao. No one ever talks about it.
No, you left the country. Because there's something like there's a major fucking fear I have when you leave the country. As much as you're having a good time and it's a friendly fucking place, it's that panic. I'm going to lose my wallet and I'm going to have to run to the embassy. Is like in the background, wah, 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 like people chasing me and shit. So I was wondering,
Are you Jason Bourne?
the most. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a rational fucking. That's hilarious.
Did you do some
What fantasy are you in
Thai,
where you've got to
kickboxing?
get to the embassy?
I'll tell you why. Did you ever watch Arrested Abroad?
Locked Up Abroad.
Locked Up Abroad,
No.
or that chick who's she's put away forever because
But isn't
she
doing
claims,
something? You don't
no,
get locked up for losing your wallet.
No, this is what it is.
No,
This
but
is
he's
what
like,
it
he
is.
needs to get to the. get
Listen,
his
before you go
documentation.
all Captain Cynical on
No,
me.
but I understand what you're saying, Bill.
Yeah, that girl who went to Bali, she said she packed a boogie board. When it fucking lands, it's packed with weed, and you get a life sentence. Like, you get the fucking death penalty. They didn't give her the death penalty. They just stuck her in jail for life. They made this whole documentary on it. And you think in the end she's going to get, I don't want to ruin it. It's fucking horrific. Now, maybe she was trying to deal. I'm not saying, but she didn't look up the laws. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. And that was it.
Yeah, but you're talking about people who are
story.
doing something wrong, most likely getting caught
I know.
doing it.
I didn't say it
Like
was
that kid who got
irrational.
caught littering and caned in Singapore. You remember that shit?
Yeah, your Kia card. Like, I mean, I've been to all these countries. I don't look up their laws. I just go, I'm not going to be a fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, you should
know
know,
what I
the
mean?
laws of the land.
But whatever,
but then
you're
sometimes
dating
you find-
somebody and they leave a fucking one of the what are those little things you smoke out of? Not a bong, the little pipe,
pipe, yeah.
little pipe.
A
thing,
one-hitter.
a one hitter. And you got that, and all of a sudden that means you got to get fucking your foot stepped on by an elephant,
Right.
And you weren't aware of that.
You met the love of your life in Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia on an oil business trip. I always like it. It's like, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, and like, if you could get booze, you were the man. And so it's like, like that's real hardcore. Like, where in the U.S. it would be like, but like if you could be like a bottle of Kahlua, it's like, whoa, watch out. All of a sudden, like secret police are fucking getting this kid. Whatever.
Absolutely.
But I
All
love
right.
that show, Locked Up Abroad. Very cool. You're right.
Absolutely. Well, are we about an hour? About an hour in. We're going to wrap up this podcast.
Bill, it's good seeing you, dude.
Yeah,
and once
dude.
again, I can't wait for the new special whenever you're going to do that because your stuff rocks out always. I love it.
I'm chasing guys like you. Dave's Old Porn is the new show, Thursdays, 11:30 on Showtime. It's a big hit. Dude, I'm really happy for you, man. I'm really happy for
Bill,
you.
I'm so glad you did it.
I
You're
hope
gonna
it
love it.
goes
Check it out,
over the
please.
moon for you, man. That's it. That's the Monday Morning Podcast. Hope you guys had a good time.
Thank you, guys.
Don't take any shit. Go fuck yourselves. I'll talk to you next week.